Hi guys, I'm Rita and in today's episode I have a knitting business. I am making decorations for sofas or for homes, as well as toys for animals or for babies or for kids. And I cannot exclude knitting clothing as well as accessories like handbags. So I was looking for a bookkeeping or accounting software which would be very simple, and I came across a world's simplest bookkeeping software, and I thought that's a perfect match because I want something simple and easy where I can record my transactions, issue invoices, and also have an overview about transactions in my bank and cash account. So accounting software or bookkeeping software, what I will be using in today's episode to record my transactions is LessAccounting. Let's register on LessAccounting and go through settings section. So let's register on LessAccounting, world's simplest bookkeeping software. Okay, let's do start 30-day free trial here. Okay, email. Just need to remember password. So add your email address and password and click sign up. Okay, verification email has been sent to my mailbox. Let's go there and let's verify email. Confirm my email. And now we need to tell a little bit more about our business. So name of my business will be Rita K, and my business industry, there's lots to select from. So if you are in art or photography or creative services, select there, or if you are in medical and dental or health, there is multiple industries to select. In my case, I will have other. I make or sell a product. Okay. And I am most interested in accounting software, so I will do my own bookkeeping. But you can also select invoicing and proposals, or you can look at full service bookkeeping, so LessAccounting would do bookkeeping for you. And also you can select that you are not sure and you just want to explore. Okay, so I will confirm that I'm not a robot and click continue. Okay, this is my LessAccounting environment. Okay, so first things to do is going through settings in my case, because I want to make sure that I have enabled all features what I need to successfully issue invoices and record my expenses, as well as look at my bank transactions. So to be able to do so, I need to make sure that I have bank accounts and all other information set up. So click on settings. And we have 4 sections to cover under settings. So let's start at the top. So first section is business settings, which includes financial accounts, name and email, cash or accrual basis, and billing and subscription. So under financial accounts is where we can add our bank accounts. So if you will opt for automated bank feeds, we can link a bank account, or we can add manually bank account or any other account. So for example, I will create a financial account And here is where you can decide what you want to do. You can connect to your bank account, you can connect to Stripe, or import data manually. In my case, I will show you how to import data manually. In that case, also upload bank statements later. So I need to add bank account, like manual bank account. So I will put Ritas Bank, that's my name of the bank. I'll put business, okay? And starting balance, I have 1,500 in my bank account. Okay, and starting balance date, it's 1st of June in my case. Select your date when this opening balance is, so when your business starts. And then I can decide if I want to keep these transactions of the profit and loss report or include. So all expenses that goes through bank transactions, do I want those, let's say, outgoings to show up in my profit and loss statement? And I will say that in my case, I want to do so. Later we can change the setting and disable if you separately record them as part, for example, as expense recordings. And also we can note this one is if this is a credit account, for example, if you have credit card account, and click save. Okay. So I have now my Ritas Bank, but also I want to add another financial account I would call as a money account, and that would be my cash account. So I will call cash, and I will say that I have 500 on hands, and starting balance I will say on 1st of June as well. And I will say if I want to keep or off the profit and loss statement or leave them posting to profit and loss statement. In my case, I will say that cash, I want them to be posted to profit and loss statement, and click save. Okay, so we can change by clicking on configure and do amendments. So I have created both bank accounts, money accounts, because cash is money account, and my bank account. Next section is name and email. So here, if it's required, my details or information can be amended. Also, every section have more details given or provided about every single section. If you are getting confused about something, LessAccounting provides it here. Okay, cash or accruals. This would determine if you want how you record your transactions. So if I will select cash, then my reports will show only transactions on profit and loss statement based on when I actually paid from bank account or cash account, or I have received money in my bank account or cash account. So I will, as I'm sole trader, I will leave as a cash accounting. But if you want to use accrual, that means that you want to record transactions should be going to profit and loss statement when you actually issue invoice or record transaction. Doesn't matter if it's paid or not paid, that would show as accrual. Yeah, so I will leave as cash basis. Later we can change if required. If you do any changes, don't forget to click save so changes are saved. Okay, and fourth section under business settings is billing and subscription. So this can be changed. At this moment I'm on free trial, and then credit card details are not added. But if I would decide to continue with LessAccounting account, I can add billing information now, and then every month fees would be taken from my account as a direct debit, I would say. Okay, next section is invoices and proposals. Here I can amend invoice options if I wish to. So if I don't want to see invoice options, I can deselect it. In my case, I will leave. Mailing address, so I can add my company mailing address. So I will say okay, so that's my mailing address, and save. So you can add that one, it will show up on invoice. Okay, label translation if required. we can change these labels. So if invoice total you want to call somehow differently, just amend this information here, or when there is date on proposal, if you want to say proposal date, just add proposal here or quote here. So you can change all these labels how they displayed on your documents on system. Okay, sales tax. If you want, you can create different sales tax and add percentages and save it, so we can edit and delete afterwards if required. I will leave blank. Logo, here you can upload your logo of the business. So for example, in my case, I will have my knitting business logo. Click save. This logo will show up on invoices, what I would issue to my customers. Okay. We'll give a second while it will upload it. Okay. Oh dear, that's taking a long time to upload a small picture. Okay, so is my logo. Next one, headers and footers. We can amend information or add information here. So when we would send invoice out, then it would already default with email message and what would be in header showing on footer and what would be a title of or subject of that invoice. So we can default information here. So I will fill in details. Okay. So it will show up here. You can have multiple templates created and they will be listed below. They can be edited and deleted if they are not applicable anymore. Okay, next one is VAT. So we can add a VAT number here if needed, if you are VAT registered business. Otherwise you can leave blank. Reference number. Under this section, that will show for invoices and proposals. Next, reference number. I would say that I don't want to start my invoice with number 1. I want to start it with 101. So just amend here if you want to start this with whatever number, 200, 500, 1000 and etc. So I will start with 101. Okay, and due date. Under this section, we can say how many days customers should pay our invoices. So in my case, I am giving 1 week, so 7 days. Click save. Okay. Next section is general settings. So time zone and date format. So time zone I will leave as it is, but you can change. Click on drop down list and select the one time zone which you want to select. And date format, in my case, it is date, month and year instead of month, date and year. So select your date format here if you want to change. And time format can be amended as well or changed either to 24-hour clock or time or 12-hour AM and PMs. When you do changes, don't forget to save. Okay. Then next one is currency. I'm based in UK, so my default currency will be in pounds. But if you are in any of European countries and you have euros, you can change here. Or if you are in Americas and USD dollars is here, select the currency which will be your main currency on LessAccounting. Okay, so I will issue invoices in pounds, sterling pound value. So next one is tax. So if you want to use tax, you can add tax information here. It might help you to filter some information about particular maybe projects or maybe some other kind of searching settings, maybe by revenue streams or sales streams. You can separate tax in that case if invoices are issued to maybe for one particular product type and then another is for services, so you can create those tax and later use those tax in benefit to you as like a filter option, so you can use on LessAccounting tax option as well. API keys, that's later if some things need to be changed. I will not click so it doesn't show my API keys. Okay. And last section is called account settings. Here is general information about my account and business. So if I want, I can change this information here, select email, first name, last name. First name is my business name, so I will keep as it is. I can receive Monday emails if I wish. I will say that I do not need to receive every Monday email from LessAccounting. I'm fine as it is. Next section is change password, so there's option to change password and also delete account if I don't want to use LessAccounting anymore. And very last section is called journal entries. This will be used at a later point to make corrections or adjustments on LessAccounting account. So I will cover it at a later point. So this covers settings section, but there is also one thing called integrations. So if I want to make e-payments or receive e-payments, LessAccounting provides an option to connect to 4 e-payment like software solutions: VPay, PayPal, Stripe, and Square. So you can enable or connect to one of those under section called integrations. So this covers registration process on LessAccounting, which was very straightforward and simple, plus settings. That's the area where you will go to do any changes, enable or disable features, as well as integrations if you want to start to using e-payments as part of your business, receiving funds from your customers, making life easier and more closer to automation. So let's have a look what else we can do in this accounting software. I've been working on this new project to knit a bright orange jumper for my customer, and I want to issue an invoice so they can pay deposit for this item. So how I can issue invoices as well as add new customers on LessAccounting. Plus, I received a request yesterday for 50 miniature toys that one customer is interested to purchase from me going forward. So how I can issue quotes on LessAccounting. So let's have a look at the next section called sales. So let's have a look at sales section now. So first thing, I need to add new customers. So how I can add new customers? There is section called contacts, and from here I have couple contacts already added, but to add a new contact we should click on create contact, but also we have an option, if you have a list of contacts, import it through Basecamp or Highrise. So if you have those saved there, then you will be able to upload your contacts directly onto LessAccounting. So click on create contact if you haven't got such a list, and we will be presented with a contact card which need to be filled in. So at the top there is name and surname of contact details. So for example, I have John Smith and company. If there is company, select or add company details, otherwise you can select not applicable. Also, we have option to add free email addresses, and then when we send out invoices, we'll be able to send to all those. So sometimes we need to distribute copy of invoice or proposal to more than just one email address. So you have an option to fill these fields with those multiple email addresses here. So I will just allocate my email address for this test purposes. If you have phone number, add phone numbers there. Otherwise, if you haven't got, leave blank. Address, fill in address details with or about this customer. So I will have Green Street, Greentown, and postcode. Okay. And if you have any notes to add here, so for example, any other requirements like purchase orders need to be quoted on customer invoices, or someone need to be contacted beforehand,
those notes can be added here and they can be managed at a later time. Okay, and before we click save, there is an option so to select if this contact is my employee, is this a subcontractor, or is just an active contact which is my client. I will leave this one as a client and click save once you're happy with all information what you have added. Okay, so I added John here and it is there. So there are a couple more things what can be done. So I can filter by employee, contractors or clients. If I click on contractors, I haven't got any contractors there. Okay, but when I click on clients, I have clients here. Okay, also I can sort or filter by last name. So for example, I have Alex T, it should show up because T is a surname, or I had Lucy Brown and it's filtered by last name as a Lucy Brown. Okay, so this is a way how we can add new contacts. But how I can send proposals before I can issue invoices. So let's go to proposal section now. From here, to create new proposal, click on that blue button called create proposal. From here, this is a template of an invoice, so I can edit my logo if I want, as well as I can edit my company details if needed. From right hand side there is a settings, and here I can, if I have multiple templates created, I can select from list there, or I can create completely new template by clicking on new template. This is where you can add details. For example, this is a text which need to be sent to proposals, header, footer information, and email message like saying that hey, please find attached proposal for based on your inquiry, or etc. Otherwise it will just use my invoice template and I can amend the text at a later time. Okay, so when you save templates, you'll be able to pick or select the one which you want to use. Okay, then also there is an option for you to change currency if you want, so you can change to euros, dollars, and etc. I will leave currency as it is, and I can add tags. So for example, if this is a recurring maybe invoice, or this is service invoice, just type in tag name. For example, I will put toys and click enter, and it will add tag here. So later when we will filter out for toys, all relating to this tag will show up on system LessAccounting. Okay, let's go back to main body of this invoice. We can select build to. This will allow me to select from list of already available contacts, but I can edit contract details of this customer, choose another contact, or create a new contact. So before I selected these customers, there was an option to create a new contact, so you can do it directly without adding new contact in a contact section. So you can add your contacts directly from proposals or also invoices screen. Okay, reference number, if I want I can change this number, otherwise I will leave as it is so it would match with proposal numbers there. Okay, I can add a note as per inquiry, and I can add information inquiry, maybe it is gift 1234 inquiry number. If you haven't got any notes to add, just leave a blank there. Okay, so now we need to start to add information. So item title, in my case this one was miniature toys, and price, what I would say, it costs £25 and it's 50 items what they are looking forward to purchase from me. Okay, so that's fine. If I want to add any other information, I can add description here, but it's optional. Or if I need to add another line, click add new item, and you can add as many lines as you wish. To delete, click on that bin, which when you hover above it turns into red. So So if you do not need that line, just delete it. Okay, proposal total is 1,250, and in settings section I added that every invoice and proposal should be or should show text "Thank you for your business." So you can amend this one text in settings section. Okay, now I can save this proposal as draft or review and send proposal. So I will review and send proposal. From here I have three options. I can email attachment, I can download this proposal and distribute in different ways, or mark as sent and don't email to customer at all. This is an email address what is provided, so if you have multiple email addresses, you will be able to select to which you want to send this proposal, or you will be able to select multiple ones. Also, you can type it another email address here, press enter, and then you will, or how was I saying, add commas, and there will be multiple emails you can add there. Okay, final steps. Here under proposal date, I will say that this proposal date is on 7th of June, and there is proposal from me and proposal number. And now this is defaulted template for invoice. So if you want to create separate template calling for proposal, so as you can see, it was stating invoice, but it's actually proposal. So I need to manually update this information here. Okay, if you want to add any other information, you can add it here and click send. So now this proposal has been sent to Gifts Limited for 1,250. How to issue invoices. So to issue invoice, click on create invoice at the top section, and as you can see, invoice layout is very similar to the proposal layout. Only difference is that here is another table called due date. Okay, so let's fill in details. I will issue an invoice to Paper Limited. Due date, in my case I will leave 27th, and reference number will match the same as invoice number here, but you can still amend if you wish to do so. Notes can be added. If you have notes to add those there. Maybe there is like purchase order number which need to be quoted on this invoice. Paper Limited has requested it. You can add it there. Okay. Now let's add item titles. So in my case there will be knitted jumpers, and price I have £45, and there have been 5 requested. Okay, I can add a description, for example color, size, or any other information here. Otherwise you can leave blank. As I said, you can add a new item, click on this button, and you will be able to add another additional line. Otherwise just delete it. Okay, so if we are happy with information what's been provided here, have a look through settings part as well. Make sure that if you are happy with invoice, read invoice template, keep it there. Otherwise you can create new template by clicking on new template there. Also make sure that you have correct currency, or you issuing invoice in correct currency. My currency is defaulted to British sterling pounds, but if I want to issue in different currency, you can do it so there. Also, if you use tags, you can add tags here. Okay, click on review and send invoice, or you have an option still to save as a draft if this deal has been not confirmed maybe, or there is some queries. You can save drafts and later issue invoice. So in my case I'll review and send invoice, and it's the same way as for proposal. Need to fill in details and information. So you can email as attachment, download, or mark as sent. In my case I will do a download. An invoice date, in my case I will leave 20th as today, and click download. So this will allow to distribute this invoice in different ways. And when I click on invoice, this is an invoice to Paper Limited. Invoice number or reference is here, due date, description, price, quantity, and that's how invoice look like. And it's also showing that it's pound sign and GBP. Okay, so Okay, so this is a way how we can download invoice or create invoice on LessAccounting. Okay, I will click mark as sent and I'll go back to invoices, and invoice for paper limited for 225 is here. So when I click on three dots, I have option to edit this invoice and delete this invoice if I want to. How we can actually, well, now I'm thinking how we can convert proposals to invoices. So let's go back to proposals, and Gifts Limited have confirmed this proposal and asked to issue an invoice. So when we click on this proposal, when I scroll to the bottom, mid section I would say, firstly there is a history. You can see who have sent, when it's been delivered and when it's been created, dates and information. Yeah. To convert to invoice, click on convert to invoice here. And now this has been converted to invoice, so proposal has been converted to an invoice. So due date, I will just say the due date was, I will say 13th in my case, for 1,250, and now I can do a couple of options: delete, copy, void, save as draft, review and send invoice. Okay, in my case I will mark as sent, and I will say invoice date was 13th and mark as sent. Okay, so now we are in invoices section, and from here, when I'm looking Gifts Limited, there's 1,250 and due date is 13th of June, and now it's overdue. So this invoice is here, so when I click on this invoice, it's showing there. Okay, so when I go back to proposals, it's showing that proposal has been sent and I can view invoice. So when I click on three dots, I have option to edit proposal or delete proposal. But when I click on view invoice, it drops me to an invoice section and will open an invoice for this particular linked proposal versus invoice. Yeah. So now Gifts Limited received their first batch of 50 miniature toys for price of 25. So how I can issue recurring invoices? Go to recurring invoices section. Here, click on create recurring invoice, and we will need to go through 4 sections to make sure that we have issued a recurring invoice. So firstly, first section is called when, and that means frequency. So how often invoices need to be issued. So I will say the next invoice should be issued in July, because for June invoice has been issued already. Ends, and I can select either it's never ends as it's saying, or I can give a particular time or date. So contract, what I have signed with Gifts Limited, ends on 31st December this year. And now I need to decide how this invoice will repeat. So will it repeat? So it's in a quantity. So will it repeat every 4 weeks, or because frequency period is here, or every 30 days, or every month or year? So select what you want. So in my case, it will be every 1 month. So repeat every one. This section is meant for numbers. So how many? So I could say 1 month, or I could say 4 weeks. Depends, but week is only 7 days, so 7 times 4, that means that it's only 28 days. So the most closest option to select is repeats every 1 month. And there is a description line which provides saying that it will repeat on the first of the month, as I have selected, and first Friday of the month. Okay. And now I have option either if I want to email it, then yes please, directly to customer, or no thanks, and in that case I will be able to download and deliver myself. So okay, next section is template. This is a invoice template which we need to fill in with details or information. So now I can select from my contacts and I have gifts limited. I will leave my invoice template and pound currency, but you can change here. And I can also add tags. For example, I have toys here. Okay, so there is details about my business and my logo. I can add notes, for example, purchase order number. Okay, and item line is miniature toys, price 25, and quantity I have 50. I can add new line item. For example, I can give a discount, and I am giving discount of £5 for each unit because it's recurring invoice. So discount will be applied and invoice total will be £1,000. Okay, so happy with that information. Click on finish, and now this section where you click save and recurring invoice will be recorded. When invoices will be issued, in history we'll be able to see how many invoices been issued, when, and at what times, dates. Okay, so this is a way how we can add recurring invoices on LessAccounting. And finishing with recurring invoices, I finish section about sales. Oh, this has been one of the busiest weekends. So I went to shop and I purchased some more threads for my knitting business. So I have receipt here, and there is my items. So good. Okay. Plus, I have made some sales because I sold toys. There was town celebration or festival, and I made some cash. I like cash, but how I can record cash transactions on LessAccounting? Can I do them? So now let's talk about my cash sales and cash expenses, plus the money what I have deposited in my bank account. So to access transactions section, to enter cash sales and cash expenses or any other expenses and any other income, we need to go to accounting section on LessAccounting, and there is a subsection called transactions. From here, it looks really overwhelming at the beginning, but later it will get a little bit easier. So this looks very busy screen, but actually when transactions will be added, you will be able to look on past 30 days, 90 or 120 days, or all dates. In that case, it will give a list of transactions. This is like a front filter which allows you to just look on particular set of information. So let's look on expenses. So I have made some cash payments and incurred some expenses. How I can actually record those? So under transactions, there is 3 options at the top, or 3 buttons called expenses, deposit and transfer. So expenses will be for what I have paid with my cash or with card, whatever what you use. Deposits, that means that I have received money, like here. And transfers means that if I would, for example, take cash and put in my bank account, how I can record that on this LessAccounting, and it will be through transfer section. So let's start with expenses first. So click on expenses to add anything what you have paid for. So new expense, I can add the title of this expense. So for example, I will say petrol. I paid for petrol to going from one point to another point, let's say from my home to market, and I paid for petrol £25. Date, select date when I have paid for this petrol, and I will say that I paid on 7th okay, mark as paid. Okay, paid date, yeah, we'll leave 7th. select the financial account. That was account what I set up at the settings at the very beginning. So if you haven't set up your financial account, it will show blank. Yeah. So in my case, I paid in cash. Okay. And select an expense category. That's where these costs should go. So where this petrol should be going. And in my case, it should be under fuel if they have fuel. Nope. Petrol. Nope. There is car and trucks. Okay, we'll keep under car and trucks. Okay. I can select a pay if I want, otherwise leave blank. And I can add notes, for example, travel from home to market, town festival. Okay, I can add tags, and I can also select duration of this expense. I will keep this one. Okay, and then I can choose a file for my petrol. Okay, and click open. So we can attach a support document and click save. Okay, let's add another expense for which I haven't paid yet. So let's add an expense. In this case, it will be hotel bill. I will say £91. Financial account. I could say the due date is on 24th this week. So I clicked. So this showing paid date as 24th. If you click on paid date, it's showing the due date. This is due date. That's when this invoice should be paid to, or expense paid to. Okay. I will not select financial account because I haven't paid for it. If I will pay in cash, I will be able to come back and amend it to pay as I have paid in cash. Otherwise, maybe I will use my bank card and I will pay with bank card. So I cannot allocate as a paid yet. Expense category, travel. There is travel. Do they have a hotel? Nope. Okay, it's part of a travel. Okay, and I can add notes, add tags, and I can choose file. So I have hotel booking and click save. Okay, so now when I click on past 30 days, I will see my petrol because that's when I have paid, and it's expense for £25. Okay, and I will say this year. In that case, I should show. Yeah, it's showing hotel bill as well because it's due on 24th. In the future, it shows that bill will be due in the future. It's not due yet, and it's expense type. So when I go back to transactions, remember this is just the front sort out. So when I will click all dates, all bills are here. So if I select this one, transaction, I will be able to delete transaction by when you select that particular, like doing a tick box, clicking on tick box. Okay, so now I have cash sales. So how I can record cash sales? Click on deposit. Now I can add the title of this deposit. So I will say, firstly, I will say that I have received cash sales from Town Festival. Okay, and my cash sales in Town Festival, what I made was £480, and I can say that I made it on Saturday 18th. Okay, I can select a financial account, and I have received in cash, so I will say that I received in my cash account, and I can select income type. So either it's regular income or other income. If maybe it's a side business or whatever, then that's when I can decide what this money or deposit coming in, what it's related to. So in my case, it's regular income. I just have decided to go to this Town Festival and sell my toys and jumpers on this market. So instead of using online platforms. Yeah, so I can tick email receipt, example if I would have particular customer who have paid for it, and I'll be able to allocate. I can add tags and add notes. So in my case I put already that there's cash sales from town festival, but if there is more detailed information I can add here, for example, how many toys I sold and how many jumpers I sold. Okay, and I can click save. Okay, so now it's recorded cash sales from town festival here, and all money coming in will show with a positive sign, and it will show as a deposit. Let's add a deposit if one of the customers have paid already to me. So let's add deposit saying that deposit for jumper. Jumper. Okay. Amount I will say £150. Financial account I will say in cash. So not today, I received on Friday £150 deposit for jumper. It's one of the expensive jumpers. Okay, and I received in cash account. It is regular income, and I can email receipt to one of my customers. So for example, I will allocate to Alex Lucy Paper to Paper Limited. Okay, and I can add notes. I will say deposit payment received. So I will still have left. So invoice was for 225, so I will still have £75 what I will need to receive from them, and click save. Okay, did it saved? Not jumping to transactions. Okay, all dates and deposit for jumper. Oh, it's recorded twice. Okay, let's delete one. So select the one which you want to delete, and okay, so something happened with system. It's recorded twice my deposit for jumper. So it's allocated £150 already to this particular invoice. If, for example, customer have paid a deposit for particular invoice, this is way how you can actually allocate to invoice from on LessAccounting from transaction section. But after my successful sales in Town Festival, I deposited some amount. So how I can do or record a transfer? So click on transfer. From here you can add amount, how much been transferred. So in my case I had 500 transferred on 20th, so on Monday after sales. So sale happened on Saturday, bank is open today, so I went today to do a transfer from cash or deposit my cash into my bank account. So I will select from, so from cash account into my bank account I moved £500 or deposited £500. I can add a note. I will say okay, so I said that cash deposit into my business bank account, and click save. Okay, now it's recorded transaction cash to my bank account, and it's transfer of funds 500 and transfer of funds. Okay, so this is how we can record transactions, expenses, deposits, which is money coming in, or transfers. Invoices which have been not paid yet will have like a warning triangle saying that this invoice will need to be paid and it's been not allocated for a payment yet. Okay, so this covers transactions on LessAccounting.
Something doesn't make sense. It looks like that I have combined some costs on LessAccounting, but I need different chart of accounts code or expense category. So how I can add a different expense category on LessAccounting? Plus I need to correct transaction as well. So how I can post journals on LessAccounting and make a correction?
So I'm looking at this petrol and it is going under category car and trucks. I actually want to have separate category called petrol, and the way how we can add it is through chart of accounts section. So go to accounting and there is chart of accounts. Here it looks a little bit messy, but every category has like a details or description provided, loads of description and loads of codes. So all what we can do in this chart of accounts is basically add a custom expense category, and on right hand side it provides very detailed, more like a theory book information. So if you want, you can read through what you can include or what you should not put as a part of your expenses or record as part of expenses. So let's add a new expense category. In my case will be petrol. So add a custom expense category. So it will come in the same way. So just add top line description. So I will have petrol, and I can add category description if I want. Just petrol fuel for my business car. Okay, and I can click save. Okay, all these expenses are in alphabetical order. So to find my petrol, I need to scroll till P letter. So P petrol. Okay, this is a petrol. So if I need to amend something, I can click on this, select, and there is an option to delete. Okay, I do not need to select. That selection is for delete. If I want to change, I'm just clicking on that field and I can amend details if I wish. So now I have petrol as a separate expense category under chart of accounts. And because if I'm looking on my transactions, I want actually this petrol to be moved from car and truck category to my petrol category. So how I can do it? Either I can go on petrol entry and change category here, but to do in a correct bookkeeping way, it would be to create a journal entry. So to create a journal entry, you will need to go to settings and click on journal entries there. Here at the top, I can create a journal entry. And now I need to add a title. I will say cost correction. Select date. So I know that my petrol was purchased on 7th. Amount was 25. And first is select first category, so increase. So when I recorded my expenses, so category was increasing or costs were increasing under cars and trucks. So in this case, I need to have an increase in petrol. So type in search box and it will provide your information there. So it will be increase, and select second category. In that case, I had cars and trucks, and that would be a decrease. So if I want, I can, depends if first category selected and it needs to be decreased, you can change it if you wished. I just worked in a way to reading what system provided. So petrol will increase by 25 and car and trucks will decrease by 25 pounds. I can add a note, for example, correction. New chart of accounts expense code created. Okay, and click save. So now it's showing cost correction for 25 pounds, petrol will increase and car and truck will decrease. That means that there will be nothing under cars and trucks, so 25 will be removed or taken off, and so cars and trucks will come to 0. And I added notes saying corrections as new chart of accounts expense code has been created. Okay, so this is a way how we can do changes to chart of accounts and create a journal entries if we need to do any corrections on our LessAccounting account. Okay, let's have a look who have paid for their items. So Lucy have paid for her white and black jumper. Okay, that's there. Okay, you are ready to go to new home. Okay, and let's add confirmation receipt as well. So I need to go to post office and send this item to client because I could see in my bank account that I have received funds or money in full from this customer. Plus, I need to also deposit some cash after my weekend sales. So how I can make transfers between bank accounts, not only bank accounts, between cash account and bank on LessAccounting. So let's have a look at the next section called banking. Firstly, I will go to post office and to bank to deposit my money. Okay, let's have a look at banking. So when I go to section banking, here I have already cash account and Rita's bank and business. And if I want, I can connect to my bank account. That will enable me automated bank feeds. So I will just need to sort out transactions, and those will be posted on my LessAccounting account automatically. It's the same I can do with an option to connect to Stripe account, and transactions will be brought to my LessAccounting account. But there is an option if you don't want to automate your processes, we can import data manually. And in this tutorial, I will show you how you can upload your bank statements manually on LessAccounting. So to import data, click on, so in my case, it's Rita's bank business, click on import data. Okay, here I have option import older data before 22nd, so it's before 6th of January. No, this is before 1st of June. Okay, it's quite hard to read date and figure out, but that's because I said 1st of June is my opening balance for bank account. So if I need to import anything before that one, before my opening balance, I would need to select this one. I can add a nightly importing. Not sure what is that one. Maybe when I have loads of transactions and I want to import a file over the night. That's my guess only. Or manually upload account transactions. So there is only three file formats available: QIF, CSV or QFX. So majority of files are coming as CSV files from bank accounts. And to upload it, we need to just click manually upload transactions and upload that file. But there is one quick but. If I have CSV file, you cannot upload CSV file. You actually need to convert CSV file to one of these file formats, starting with Q letters. And what is good with LessAccounting, they said that I can convert CSV files to QIF files by clicking on this CSV to QIF file converter. So when you click, you will be presented with like new tab will open in next browser. Did I say it correctly? So what I meant is new tab will open, and here will be option for you to create an account and convert CSV file to QIF files. Okay, so what I have done, I already converted my CSV to QIF. So I will click choose file, and as you can see, I had CSV file for June bank statement, but I converted it to QIF using the same free online converter. Just need to log in, create an account, and you'll be able to upload CSV file and convert to QIF. Quick and simple. Okay, click open and click on upload file. Okay, here just check that expense, it is an expense, and in my case it's correct. This is an expense what I have paid with a card, and including phone bill, it's an expense. And deposits are the monies coming in into my account. So once I uploaded my bank statement, I need to actually go through all these transactions and decide where they need to go. So for example, I have local shop purchase, and it is costs of goods sold. In my case, it's directly relating to my purchases of threads and knitting needles and measure tapes and etc. to make my knitting business, or to run my knitting business. So it is cost of goods sold directly. Phone limited, it's phone costs. Paper limited is an invoice customer paid for their invoice. I cannot allocate at the moment. When we will reconcile bank, we'll be able to allocate it. Rent bill, so let's check if I have rent. Okay. Internet, I think so, I don't have, I will put as on office expenses. So just categorize every single transaction, special expenses, where should be going. Local shops, their cost of goods sold. Okay, and bank fee is bank charges, bank fees. Okay, so once you have allocated expense categories to purchases or purchase site, click save. Okay, so my transactions are being imported, so it might take a little bit time to upload those. So I will click OK. So they will let me know when transactions will be imported. So when I go back to accounting and click on transactions, it already shows that there is deposits and expenses. Okay, so when I click on all dates, there is all my bank transactions showing up here as well. But when I go to reconciliation, actually, I can reconcile my cash account and reconcile my business account. So I want to reconcile my business account. To do it, I can create statement to reconcile. Yeah. So there will be a starting balance, ending balance, expenses total, and deposits total. Yeah. So starting date was this saying as for May. In my case, it should be June. So I will click June, 1st June, and up to 19th of June. So my starting balance on 1st of June was 1,500 and my closing balance was 3,185. Okay. My expenses total was 495 and my money what I received from clients was 2,180, and click save. Okay, so now I will be provided with an option to make sure that my expenses and deposits are actually matching with all these amounts, and then at the end, all ins and outs are balancing to my ending balance. If there is something missing, for example, if there is missing expense, I will be able to add an expense directly from my bank account. Also, if I have made a transfer, then I will be able to add a transfer to reconcile my bank account from 1st June till 19th of June. Okay, so firstly, if I click on all these transactions, they all clear out my deposits. So these transactions balances with my deposits. And when I select all my expenses, so for example, I select first 5 expenses and showing that still £65 are outstanding and there is £65 here. So when I click there, it's showing also pop-up message that my bank matches with transactions, opening balance and ending balance as of 19th of 06. And I can click save and I would reconcile my bank. But before I reconcile, I want to allocate these payments actually to my customer invoices. To do so, I need to go to banking. When I click on my business account, Okay, maybe it was under transactions. Okay, tag deposits. Yeah, this is a place where I need to review this one. So I can save and go to next, or I can skip. So in my case, 480 cash sales from Town Festival, I will click skip because that was reconciled already. So there was £150 deposit for jumpers, and this has been recorded by me as well, so I will click skip. Next one was 1,250 from Gifts Limited, money received on 17th of June. And now I can choose an invoice. Firstly, I will email receipts that I have received money, and I will allocate to invoice of 1,250, and that invoice is here. Okay, and once I'm happy with details, I click save and next. Okay, next one. Okay, let's go to next one. I have Lucy. Lucy paid £150. It's the same. I want to email receipt, and I want to find a Lucy's invoice, and Lucy's invoice is here for 150. 150 is there, and invoice was on 7th. It was due on 13th, and Lucy paid on 16th of June. So she paid a little bit later, and I can click save and next. Okay. Okay, let's go to skip. Next one, Alex. Alex paid 180 on 15th of June. And when I look on my invoices, I have Alex invoice for 180 there, and invoice was issued at a later date, but he paid £180 already. And click save and next. Okay, and there is my business account because it's coming out from my business account. Okay. Next one, I have Paper Limited, £600 or 13th of June, and I can select an invoice. So I have only 2 invoices left what are due for payment, and it's from Paper Limited for 225, but they already paid 150 as a deposit, but LessAccounting don't provide that update, but I just recall what I recorded. But I have invoice 103 for £600, invoiced on 8th of June, and they paid 5 days later, so I can allocate this invoice and save and next. Okay, now I skip and finish, and I've done deposit allocations. The same is about expenses. If I have any expenses that haven't been paid yet, for example, I had bill for £91, I will click skip this one. So for example, if I want to allocate to particular payment, then I would need to go to that transaction and allocate that it's been paid from bank account on particular date. So let's go back to my transactions, tag expenses, and this is very first £91 hotel bill. I will click that it's reviewed, and I will select a financial account. I will select a business account, and it was paid. I will say that it was paid on will be paid on 21st. Okay, and save and next. Okay, so when I go back to my transactions, I look on all my dates. Here is showing in green. That means that this expense have been paid, and also it's been reviewed and confirmed. So we would need to go through all expenses and make sure that they are marked as reviewed if we are happy. So for example, local shop, I will say reviewed. I can attach a file like support document for this local shop purchase, save and next. Okay, so let's go to next transaction. There is bank fee, I will click reviewed. There is no file to attach, I will click save and next. And there is internet limited, I will click reviewed. I will choose support file, save and next. So this way how all transactions need to be reviewed on LessAccounting, and the ones which have been reviewed are marked reviewed, they will change color to green, so they're being recorded and reviewed. Also, any other attached files, or if you have attached files, there will be small pin showing up next to category or information. That means that there is support file attached. So now we can finish reconciliation of bank account. So shall I click show? Okay, so there is this reconciliation in progress. I will click reconcile. Now I can select all these transactions. So unclear deposits, so there is nothing outstanding from deposit side. And let's check expenses. Okay, I can also see future transactions, but I will ignore at the moment because I just want to look for bank statements ending 19th of June 2022. So there is no outstanding deposits and no outstanding expenses. So that means that there is no gap between my reconciliation. My ending balance of Rita's bank business account is 3,185 and all these transactions balance to that amount, and click save. Okay, so when I click show, it's showing that this being end balance, there have been expenses for this amount and deposits for this amount, and it's been balanced. So I can edit statement or I can delete if I wish to. So this covers banking, how to review transactions and allocate payments to particular invoices. So for example, if I go to invoices now, they have been marked as paid and amounts have been allocated to those invoices. When I click on invoice and scroll a little bit down, it's showing that applied payment by that amount, and I can remove this payment if I need to do amendments or corrections. So this section covered banking, bank reconciliations, review transactions, and allocate payments to customer invoices, as well as mark any expenses that have been not marked as paid.
Oh, I'm miles away from completing this card by end of the day. Talking about miles, there is two things what I want to mention to you. On LessAccounting, there is a section called mileage, as well as budgets. Mileage is where I can record miles, of course, but budget is the one which helps to track your actual spending versus what budget you have set up. So let's have a look on those two sections while I have not forgotten to show you guys.
So let's have a look now at mileage and budget section. So under mileage, we can firstly look at vehicles. So if I have multiple vehicles, I can add vehicles here. Also, I can remove them if I do not use any of vehicles. So in my case, I will have Rita. Okay, I will say car. Okay, and click save. So I have added my Rita K car, and I can log a mileage. So to log a mileage, click on mileage log, and here I can log a mileage. So on Saturday I went to town festival. I can add a trip to town festival. I can choose vehicle. If I will have multiple vehicles, I can select the one from those multiple vehicles, and I can put either total distance, or I can add a odometer start and odometer end information or numbers. So I will say total distance I had 45 miles and click save. So this is how I can record trips and add information or notes about particular mileage what I covered. So only thing what it doesn't cover is cost, which is not very good, but okay. So on 19th I had another trip to town festival, I will choose my vehicle, and distance was, in that case, I needed to take longer route, I will say 57 miles. And now, if I will have multiple vehicles, those will be listed here, and it will total up miles there. Okay, so if I have used this vehicle for whole year, but I want to see last quarter, click on select date range, and you will be able to either select from one of options provided, or you can add a custom date range. So for example, from let's say if you want to see only past a week, then you can select just a week and it will show mileage for that particular week. Okay, so this way how we can record mileage and see how much miles actually a particular car has been driven, and also use that one to maybe enter a journal for fuel expenses if employees are claiming any fuel expenses. Okay, and next section is budget. Here we can set a budget for particular month, quarter or year. So to add a budget, click on create budget, and here I can select an expense category. So for example, for cars and trucks, I have a budget of, let's say, £1,000, and frequency I will say that it's yearly, so I have £1,000 a yearly amount, and I can click on roll over, or I can click save, so that is a set fixed amount for a particular year. Okay, so 33 is a June budget, so 1,000 been deleted, divided by months, and that would give what is the total budget for that particular month. So let's create budget for next category, and that is let's say costs of goods sold. For costs of goods sold, my budget is £10,000 and frequency is annual, and I will click save. But if I want, I can put a monthly budget. So for example, monthly budget for my costs of goods sold is maybe 250. Then click 250, click monthly, and click save. So 250 is applying here, so that's not calculating based on annual but based on monthly costs. This calculating 1,000 divided by 12 and getting to 83.33. Let's add another line, and I will add let's say rent for office workers. So I will say that my rent budget is $350 monthly. Okay, and you can see I had an expense already in month, and it exactly matches my budget for a month. Another line, let's say I have phone bill, and for phone I have £25 and monthly, and click save. So my phone bill is 25, but actually this month I spent £15. And at the top we will be able to see total budget, what is the total spent, and total remaining. So that's what's been saved actually. So this is way how we can create a budget and look and review information and make sure that we are not overspending. So if I edit rent and say that my budget is 320, then this line is saying that it's 350 out of 320. So this amount will be like reduced, so total remaining will be reduced because I have actually overspent by £30. Only thing is shame that they don't show in orange or in red this line, and like bringing attention to saying that I have went over the budget, but it's still good insight to see if you are going above budget or you have met exactly budgeted amount what you have set for this particular period. So this covers two sections, mileage and budgets. Still 3 items unsold. Okay, how long is this one? Okay, this one's 17. and how far I am with my scarf. I have 18 inches. Yeah, still far away. I need to work harder. But how hard I have worked this month? I can check it on LessAccounting. There should be a section called reports, but if I want to see in visual representation, there is dashboard. I saw it. There is dashboard where I can check out how well I have done in this past period. So let's have a look on these two sections on LessAccounting. Oh, okay, I forgot, guys. Sorry, took little break, but I'm back. Let's have a look on next two sections called reports and dashboard. So let's go to reports. It looks a little bit busy. Busy, I mean lots of text. Lots of text. So where is the reports? You can get to reports by clicking on these blue letters. So there is a link behind this text or link to report. Okay, so for example, if I look on bank statement reconciliations, it provides information here stating what this provides to you and what you can see or what you can do. So for example, if I click bank statement reconciliation, it drops me from reports to accounting section reconciliations. And here I can check if my bank is actually reconciled and what kind of reconciliations I have done. Okay, so when I go back to reports, I'm most interested in my profit and loss statement. So this is to understand my profitability of how much I have made and spent in a given date range. So month, quarter, week maybe, or even a year. And I can filter by tax or customize look at your business finance, at my business finance. Okay, let's click on profit and loss. And here, firstly, I can select the date range. So this month, last month, quarter, year, or I can use a customized range. So I will select this month. Okay. Talking about tax, here, if tax are very useful, for example, if you're working on a particular project and you want to see profitability of that particular project. For example, if you have issued or billed a customer for particular projects that you're working on and you have allocated expenses to that particular tag, which is maybe called project X, then you will be able to see income and expenses and how profitable this project has been to your business so far. In my case, I will just leave, I will not select tax because I haven't reported any tax for expenses, so it will just show an income or revenue or sales, so it would be not, I'm not interested in tax at the moment. Accruals or cash. Okay, this is a method how your business, you are reporting your business. And what I mean reporting, so for example, I'm a sole trader. I'm using cash accounting method. That means that I will report my income and expenses for particular tax year only when I have spent money or when I have received money. It doesn't matter when I have issued invoice or when I have received the bill, but if I have not spent a pence for it, I will not report it. So this is important for you to decide which method you actually are using and you are reporting to government. So in my case, I'm using cash method. So if I would use accrual method, my income would be 2,885. But I have cash method and my income changed. So it means that I have invoices issued, but I have not received money yet. Okay, so let's have a look. Here I can see I have income 630, which doesn't look right actually, but okay, we'll check. And expense category, I have petrol of £25. So bottom line total showing that I have total expense of 25. Okay guys, I switched to my another test account to show you how actually reports and dashboards should look like on LessAccounting. So when I go to reports section, And as I mentioned, there is lots of information about each of reports, what you can look at, like invoices, expenses, or client summary reports, balance sheet, mileage, payroll if you're using. But most important one for me is profit and loss statement. So there is information provided what this profit and loss statement would provide to me or give to me. I can click on profit and loss, this like letter combination, and it will direct me directly to report, or I can click on one of the below and this would create a report based on this selected range. But when I hover about here, year to date, I can change to any of time frames as I wish, or I can add a custom date range. So I will click on this month here. Okay, now as I said previously, select either accruals or cash basis. So on accruals basis I have 2,180, but on cash basis my revenue would change if I haven't received any money yet. So in my case, I have on my this other account, I have received all funds in cash. Okay, I can hide zero balances, those are not showing up. Okay, so my regular income is 2,180. When I click on this regular income, it will give me a breakdown of when I have received money and for from which like contact. So I have received like cash, yeah, cash. This one is all cash expenses. Okay, so let's go back to my profit and loss statement this month, cash, and etc. Okay, and now this section shows an expenses, those being imported from my bank statement or recorded as part of expense transactions like cash expenses. So we can see there is rent, there's purchases, office expenses, phone, bank fees, and there is no uncategorized expense refunds. So for example, if I click on office expense, it gives me details about what is actually being allocated to this particular section. So in my case, it's a bill from Internet Limited Company. Okay, so let's go back. And if you look on rent for office, workplace and co-working, if I'm clicking there, there is rent limited bill in that side. Okay. If I'm looking in below section, which is bottom line totals, here is showing that this month total expenses is 495 and my net income is 1,685. So 2,180 less 495, which is total expenses, gives me net income of 1,685. I can set my estimated tax, so it would calculate tax from my net income, so from my profit in this case. Okay, when I go to dashboard, from dashboard I can see notifications what need to be completed as a welcome. Then I have my financial balances for my bank account and cash account. On right hand side there is when you hover above, it shows an information about income. So income is 2,180 and red section is my expenses is 495. Okay, below here I can see that my net income was 1,685. When I click on 1,685, it brings back to profit and loss statement to show that 1,685 is net income based on revenue or total income less expenses. Okay, and then I have spending stats. So I have one bill due for £25 that had been not paid yet, and I have spent 495 in last 30 days and the same amount in last 90 days. Based on invoices, I have invoice 1,250 in past 30 days. Okay, and here in right hand side I can see how I have spent or where I have spent money in my business money. So 70% went to rent and almost 20% went to purchases or cost of goods sold, and 5% is office expenses, 3% phone and 2% bank fees. So This percentage is calculated out of total expenses, which is 495. So 495 is a total, and 350 out of 495 gives about 71% spent. Yep. So this is how we can manage dashboard and look at reports. If you need to or you want to invite an accountant or add an additional team member who could help you with your business, running your business, then you can manage your members. Here you can invite as a trusted member, or you can invite a professional bookkeeper, and all these existing members will show up here below. You can see if you will select that this is a trusted member. Trusted member will have these accesses to all these categories. If you will not tick any of these, then it will be untrusted, and that person will be able to do just the basic admin stuff. I mean, like activities that not involve your main business activities, like for example do changes or edit bank accounts or any other sections like expenses or business settings. So this covers section reports and dashboard, and also if you need to have additional team members to help you to work on LessAccounting account.
So guys, I hope you will find my LessAccounting tutorial useful, and it will be a good guide and starting point for you to understand how this accounting software works and how you can record your transactions and, most importantly, issue invoices to your customers. But if you have any questions or require any further advice, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.